Hello, dear friends. Today I am going to tell you a beautiful story. This is not just a story of humanity. In this video, you will also learn English, how to speak in different situations through a meaningful story. So please watch the full video without skipping. There once lived a cruel king who ruled his kingdom with extreme cruelty. He was known throughout the land for his heartless nature. He valued only the rich and powerful. In his kingdom, wealthy people were respected, while the poor were treated with hatred and cruelty. Even sick and unhealthy people were punished harshly, whether they were rich or poor. The king collected heavy taxes from his citizens, making their lives miserable. No one in the kingdom loved him. The people lived in fear and unhappiness under his rule. One day, the king stood on the terrace of his palace with his queen and observed the kingdom through a telescope. In the distance, he noticed two small children wearing torn clothes, their bodies thin and weak. They were searching through garbage, collecting plastic and other waste materials. Seeing this, the king became furious. He immediately summoned his minister and shouted, "Kill those two pests at once! Their presence lowers the dignity and honor of our kingdom." The minister bowed and replied, "As you command, my lord," and left. But the queen was completely different from the king. She was kind, compassionate, and full of humanity. She quickly called the minister back and said softly, "Do not harm those children. Instead, bring them secretly to the palace." Following the queen's order, the minister brought the two children quietly to the queen's chamber. When she spoke to them, she learned that they were orphans, brother and sister. They had no home, no parents, and no relatives. They did not know where they truly belonged. The children explained how they struggled day and night just to find food. To survive, they collected garbage, plastic, and empty bottles from streets and waste dumps. By selling these, they earned a small amount of money to stay alive. Every night, they searched for shelter near temples, schools, or any open place where they could rest safely. The queen's heart melted with pain. She lovingly fed them, gave them new clothes, and said to the minister, "Admit these children to a good orphanage. Make all arrangements for their education and future." The minister agreed and ensured that the children were admitted to a well-managed orphanage. All expenses for their education and care were fully arranged. Years passed. The orphaned brother and sister studied sincerely and grew into successful individuals. One became a doctor and the other became a scientist. They lived with strong values, kindness, and gratitude, always remembering the compassion that had once saved their lives. One rainy day, while traveling in their car, they noticed an elderly man and woman standing under a tree, completely soaked by the rain. Without hesitation, they stopped the car and insisted that the couple sit inside. They took them to their home, gave them dry clothes, and served them warm food with great care. The old couple felt both fear and curiosity. "These people do not even know us," the old woman thought. "Why are they helping us so much?" Finally, she asked gently, "Who are you? How did you achieve such a good life? Who are your parents?" The man smiled and replied, "We were once orphans. There was a time when someone held our hand and changed our destiny. A queen is the reason we are who we are today. She gave us food, education, and values. Because of her kindness, we learned what it truly means to be human. He added, "Once we went to the palace to meet the king and queen, but the people there told us that they had died." Then he pointed to a large framed photograph on the wall. "This is the queen of that kingdom." The old couple stood frozen in shock. The old woman's eyes filled with tears. She understood everything. The woman in the photograph was none other than herself. With a trembling voice, she asked, "Are you the same children whom I once fed in my palace and sent to an orphanage?" They nodded softly and replied, "Yes, that was us." Then the woman revealed the truth. "We are the king and queen of that kingdom. A neighboring king attacked us and destroyed our lives. No one in our kingdom helped us. To save our lives, we fled and lived in hiding. For the last 20 years, we have lived like this, without shelter and without proper care." The brother and sister were overwhelmed with emotion. With trembling voices and tears in their eyes, they said, "We do not have parents. You are the ones who gave us life again. From today onward, you are our mother and father." They took care of the king and queen with love, respect, and dignity. Seeing all this, the king was filled with deep regret. He remembered how he had once ordered the minister to kill those innocent children. Realizing his grave mistake, his heart changed forever. Watching the transformation of the king, the queen smiled silently. Life can change at any moment. The poor can become rich, and the rich can become poor. Many children in this world suffer and die in poverty only because they lack opportunity. But if we provide education and kindness to such children, they too can become great human beings and live meaningful lives. Help those in need. Support education, because kindness never fails. It only takes time.